From the blog out there in Dallas, Texas, www.svmovieblog.net. You're listening to The Weekly Rollout with your host, Desmond Childs. What up, Internet?
If I've learned anything from movies dealing with mobsters, gangsters, or thugs, it's that double-crossers often get what's coming to them. The brave few who set up their fellow mobsters to fail tend to spend the majority of their time looking over their shoulder and covering their tracks. Y'all know how it is. Snitches get stitches.
Alright, you ready to do this? That's what you got, dishwashing gloves? We're gonna look like a bunch of amateurs. What's this?
A sawn-off shotgun. It's what you asked me to get you.
It's gonna kill everybody in the room.
Mark Trapman's game was hit a couple of nights ago.
Hey! Give it all up, nobody gets hurt. It's only money.
So where do we go from here? We start with Trapman. They are not gonna okay anything major here. What does that mean? They just want you to talk to them.
Hey, what's going on? Hey!
Talk to them. Shove them around a little. Don't hurt them too badly, because they don't want them hurt.
Let's have a beer.
We got the two kids. One of them starts bragging about how he just knocked over this guy's game for $100K. I don't know what it is with these guys. They can't keep their mouth shut about nothing.
Goes up like a bonfire. I love it.
So who's gonna do it, you?
I need Mickey for that one.
New York, Mickey?
So what, you want me to do a double? I can handle it.
I don't know if they'll spring for two guys. It's a two-man job.
I like coming here every day.
I know.
Look, I don't know you.
Very few guys know me. You're in a position very few guys ever get in. You have choices.
Look, I don't know if I can do this.
You made a mistake, and you gotta make things right.
There's a man going round taking names, and he decides who to free and who to blame.
You ever killed anyone? They cry, they plead, they call for their mothers.
And the man comes around.
I like to kill them softly, from a distance. You come up here to do something, remember?
I don't take orders from you.
Get out of the car now!
I didn't do nothing.
Know what you gotta do, right?
And summertime.
You know, this is a business of relationships. Don't make me less.
When the man comes around.
I'm living in America, and in America, you're on your own.
Alright, so last night I watched Killing Them Softly, and the rule of thumb, snitches get stitches, sort of applies, still seems to be in effect. In my opinion, this entire movie just seems to be a by-the-book example of what is likely to happen when mobsters cross other mobsters. The plot follows a few crooks looking for the quickest way to make some cash. Unfortunately, the plan the two men, later three, decide to put into action involves holding up a card game featuring basically every mobster in the city. So, after the robbery scene, which crawls by at a tense, nervous pace, the aftermath results in the local economy apparently being kept afloat by the collective group of mobsters, taking a steep dive. Not long after, an enforcer, someone designated to kill specific targets, is called in. The rest of the film deals with the three mobsters trying to cover their tracks and the enforcer methodically tracking and ultimately finishing the job he's hired to do. The movie moves in a slow, straight line from point A to point B. I suppose the idea of making your target sweat or dangle before you proceed to assassinate them It's supposed to make the process of tracking them more intriguing to watch. However, there were a handful of scenes littered throughout the movie that felt out of place. There's a subplot dealing with another enforcer that's called in from out of town to murder one of the mobsters. The guy is a fat, misogynistic slob who turns out to be a shell of his former self. We get to see a couple of scenes that seem to emphasize how much of a has-been this guy is before the movie passes him over and moves on. To a lesser extent, the movie feels the need to expound upon minute details that give little to character building and even less to driving the story along. I understand hearing people talk about their past mistakes can lead to insight about their character, but having to listen to them dispute over whether or not they should tip a prostitute was unnecessary. I do feel like the three mobsters who pulled off the theft were the strongest aspect of this story, for what it's worth. But once the enforcer, Brad Pitt, is called to investigate, so to speak, the story shifts. Understandably, the movie wants us to think the three mobsters foolish and irresponsible, but I couldn't help but emphasize with their plight. So to sum it up, I did not dislike the movie as a whole, but I do think it to be, a little dull, especially when compared to its contemporaries. I am glad I did not spend the extra money to see this in theaters. The movie itself grossed about 2 times as much as its budget, so while it was not a financial success, it didn't really bring in the big dough either. The acting was passable and there was not any stellar acting, but I did not find anyone egregious enough to criticize. Is it a must-see? No. I feel even the fans of Brad Pitt won't consider this picture anything other than one of his, lower quality endeavors. It was a dull, slow, and ultimately didn't scratch my mobster movie itch. So there you go.
Screened Visions Radio and Notacast Network affiliate. Games, movies, life. Hey kid, what inspires you?
Hey yo homie, check us out on YouTube. Wow, did I sound like a gangster? YouTube.com/Otacast. That is the channel. Got all the videos up, past interviews, and of course Screen Visions movie blog. Actually getting back to some Asian movies finally. So yeah, check us out. Also, YouTube just launched a little weird way channels look now, so I'm looking for, like a banner and things like that. Stuff that people who are listening to the show probably don't even care about. Anyway, youtube.com/Otacast. Also, blogtalkradio.com/OTAKAST. That's Otacast. I'm Desmond Childs. I'll catch you guys on the other side. Later.